who is your all Kobe team? Who are the four people and a sixth man that you could today, if you could sign anybody in the league today, put around Kobe Bryant and make, let's not say win, but get to the finals and make a good run at a championship with?
You know, I gave this some thought, and Kobe, when asked that question, whether he could be the best player in the on a team that wins the championship, it's definitely got to be a pretty specific team.
Yeah.
And I think that you can probably argue with this first choice as far as the second best player on his team as being the best player on the team. But I think it's an argument. I think that Kevin Love would be a perfect complement to Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who doesn't need the ball, on set plays on offense, but certainly can post up and score.
Yep.
Hit from outside. He'd also be a good fit under D'Antoni.
Yeah.
Although I think that if you are, what's that?
Also from LA.
That's true, and went to UCLA. Absolutely.
He can get a max contract extension from the Timberwolves, which probably isn't galling him at all.
No, I'm sure he loves that. People love to average, 28 and 15 and not be considered max players.
Yeah, and be overlooked for a mediocre Spanish point guard. Yeah.
And actually, Kevin Love also is he's an underrated defender. I mean, rebounding is a big part of defending. He's a great defensive rebounder, and while he's never going to be athletically amazing, he knows where to be. He's a smart basketball player. So Kevin Love would be my second best player on that squad, and I think that you have to find a defensive-minded center also who doesn't need the ball. The funny thing is, Dwight Howard should have been that guy, but Dwight Howard can't realize that he's a defensive center who shouldn't be getting the ball in the post 10 times a game. That's another conversation.
All right, so you've got your center. Oh, you're picking your center. You got your
right, but somebody like Ashik would be, I think, a good match with Kobe. Can't do much on offense, but you're not going to need to with Kobe in the game.
Yeah.
And with Ashik and a shooter like Love, I think also your ideal championship Kobe team puts Kobe at the 3.
Yeah.
I think that he belongs there, certainly defensively and offensively at this point in his career.
Yeah.
And you're looking for somebody at the 2 like Kyle Korver, who can shoot the ball and distribute, and also is a selfless type of player.
Right. You want a 3-and-D guy at your 2.
Exactly.
You can spread the floor but can play defense. So in my opinion, I think your best 2 might be somebody like Avery Bradley, because Korver is not known for his defense.
That's true.
You could get Avery Bradley out there and really put some defensive pressure on it. You might even get somebody like Eric Bledsoe out of Phoenix, who's got those long arms, can shoot the ball and play defense, not required to handle the ball at all.
Yeah, I think there's some definite value to that. I think for a point guard, you're looking for somebody that's a defensive stopper, somebody that can take the pressure off of Kobe defensively.
Yeah.
And I would go with somebody like Kyle Lowry, who is actually pretty available. It seems like nobody seems to be that enamored with him, but he's a solid ball handler, great defensive player, and a guy who can hit the 3 and be a good second option. And then the funny thing is, I think as a 6th man, I think the Lakers have got the 6th man. I think Nick Young's perfect. I am absolutely drinking the Swaggy P Kool-Aid, let me tell you something.
Swaggy P! Well, I think that's a great lineup. I think the only change I would make is I'd go with Roy Hibbert instead of Ashik. I think Hibbert doesn't need to have the ball. You don't need to run plays with him. He already plays with Paul George, who gets most of the offensive capability, and he's the best. He's the best defender in the league right now. He absolutely changes everything. So I would just switch Roy Hibbert with Omer Ashik, and I think he's the kind of person who would defer to Kobe and not have any problems with the way that Kobe leads the team. But other than that, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's a great team.